What up, y'all? Back with a Ritual Beast deck. Not the normal Goblin Biker content that you're used to, but this is what we're playing now. For right now, so I went 4-1 over the weekend with two different tournaments with this deck. Performs really well. I like it a lot. I really like this deck. I used to play it back in like 2015, 2016 when it first came out during Necros format. It was really good back then. I loved it. Saw the new support and was excited to play it again. And it performs. Still super hard to play, but it rewards you for the time that you put in. I will say that one Protos. I like it in the main deck. It's pretty decent going second to like the clear boards. It's Protos is really good. Shifter. Shifter, man. I mean, like sometimes you'll just win off a shifter alone. Corridor, because I like making Colossus. Protos isn't always the capstone that you want to end with, especially like going blind. If I can make the Protos, and I can make it very easily by playing around the cards that I want to play around at the moment, I'll gladly make Protos call dark. I don't believe in blindly calling. I mean, I guess in a big tournament, like towards the later rounds, when you're doing well, I guess you can start blind calling fire. But I don't like blind calling fire with like no no information on my opponent. Like if I'm metagaming them and I know that they're on fire, then obviously, of course, we're fucking making Protos call fire FTK, But if not in a vacuum, Protos calling dark is pretty good, or you can go with Colossus. Once again, if you're metagaming and you know that they're on a non-fire deck, or whatever the case may be. One of Paleo, 3-run Pengu, your second best one card starter. One Winda, Kanahawk, the boy, the best one card starter. Petalfin. People don't play Petalfin. Once again, I see the arguments why you don't want to play Petalfin, but I personally like Petalfin. I like having that utility to, return cards to the hand. It comes up all the time. Like it's like if I didn't use as much, I would see why. But I'm a long-time Ritual Beast player, and people said the same thing back in the day. You don't play Petalfin, but I always played Petalfin, and I always loved it. So the utility of being able to get a card off the field, spot removal. It targets, but it's non-destruction removal. It's really good. It's really good. It's really good, dude. I think you should play it. One win, the flag. 3 Elder, 1 Laura, 3 Super Laura. Oh man, this card is insane. Makes Kanahawk and Pengu 1 card starters. Destruction protection. I wish it kind of had destruction protection from hand. That would be the bee's knees, but sadly we don't. Still a great card. I do play the Pilica. I'm a big fan of playing all the names, as you can see. I think this is like a Runic deck. You want to have critical mass of names. Like the Ritual Beast strategy gets stronger with the more names you play. With that same theory, like with Runic, you want to play more cards. Okay, and that's it for the monsters. As you can see, I don't play hand traps in this build in the main deck. The reason for also I don't want to say that I just came up with this on my own. This is heavily inspired off of JoJo ASMR's top oceanic list. Obviously I do have my own things in it, but that is the inspiration for this list. And like him, I am on Board Breakers. Ritual Beast has room for non-engine, but it's not as much. In the way I want to play the deck, it's not as much room for non-engine as you would be used to. I think you can comfortably pay like 10, 12, maybe comfortable at a 40 card list of non-engine. But we're in a meta right now where if you're not seeing 2 hand traps minimum, you're kind of just hand looping yourself. There are those off times where that 1 hand trap will be enough, but a lot of times it's just not, and we aren't really able to play a critical mass of hand traps and by that I mean something like in a list that's sub 45, something like 15 hand traps. When you have high possibility of getting like 50% chance, I think, of getting opening two hand traps. And so we circumvent that by just playing board breakers and really good board breakers, because when you see that one non-engine, non-engine is going to be effective in some way. And I don't care what anybody says, Ritual Beasts are pretty good at breaking boards. They're pretty good at breaking boards, and even more so right now, I guess, because a lot of people don't know what they do and where to hand trap, where to stop, where to interact. So yeah, it's like you can. That's the best thing about playing a new deck into the meta. Is like, the unfamiliarity to other players. Dark Ruler no more. Clear that. Not clear, but negate that board, and continue to combo away and just start picking off their board and set up your own board. OTK if you can. Obviously not with Dark Ruler, but essentially put them in a spot where you can OTK them. You negate all their stuff, wipe their board with Protos, call their archetype, call their attribute rather, and lock them out the game. 2-turn FTK. I'm not going to go into this yet. Book of Eclipse is the second board breaker. Even if you're playing hand traps, I think that Book of Eclipse is mandatory in this list. It plays around Nib while also playing. It plays around Nib. It plays around the targeting hand traps. It plays really well into boards. It's so many little interactions, like where you may not, or maybe you're in a situation where your opponent has a negate, so you can't just shotgun your book, and you have to play into it a little bit. And then once you do that, you can just book the field and then continue comboing. Obviously, if you don't know, you can contact Fuse with face down cards, monsters. It's just really good. I mean, if you've been playing the game as long as I have, remember Gladiator Beast. E-Telly, probably the best extender, I think. Besides Super Saiyan Laura, yeah, I guess it's the best extender. That's arguable because this pulls from the deck, so. But yeah, no less than 3. You better not be playing less than 3. I will find you. Inheritance. This card is a little bit more controversial. People have opinions on playing less than this, and I understand that, but Ritual Beasts, they need to make sure they can play. So because if you can't play, if you don't see a Tamer plus a Spiritual Beast, you can't play. So you really need to see that. Like, you don't want, even if it is a low possibility, the possibility is still there, and you want to mitigate that as much as possible. So that's why we're playing 3. And I don't play pot. I would rather just play this, the third one, and trying to squeeze them in or somewhere. Other last board breaker is Evenly Matched and the 1 Steeds. So now the 3 cards that I play, 3 extra cards that I play. Because obviously, this is a 40 list without these cards. These cards help with the bricking even more so, spreading out those bricks in the form of the Nemesis packages. Yeah, in this form of the Nemesis packages, plus clumping on the non-engine board breakers. So the best, Gold Sark. These effects are good because they are the best Ritual Beast effects you have. That and they're good effects because they pull things out of the deck, but they just don't have a body. These lead to your second best openings that do not include a Ritual Beast monster outside of E-Telly. Even better than Inheritance. I take that back because, this is better in a vacuum. This is better with some context, because if you open Elder, this is not going to be better as opening Elder with a Gold Sark or Foolish, as opposed to opening Elder plus Inheritance. That's just Kanahawk combo, and that Elder Kanahawk combo, and that's just the best combo in the game. And this is what this represents. It's don't play less than 3 of this, dude. It's important. It's just important as pot would be if I didn't have to remove 3 cards from my extra deck. So this is Pengu effect, obviously without the monster. This is Kanahawk effect without the monster. I don't understand why people don't play these cards. Um, I don't understand it. They were the best. They were some of the best non-archetype support cards in 2015, and that remains true to this day. One for one. One for one, I could not say the same about it back in the day, but now it is obviously because of Super Saiyan Lore, who is a spiritual beast and a tamer, so it is whatever missing piece you are missing. It's whatever piece you're missing. Obviously, there's confliction with Shifter, but you're not an idiot. You make the call in the moment. If you see Shifter plus one for one, play accordingly. If you don't, play accordingly. Like it's very simple. It's one card. Like it's because I know that people are going to say something about this. Like whether it be my comments or whether if I bring this up in a one-on-one situation, it's going to be the same reaction that people have. But play accordingly. It's not the end of the world. This takes a hand from not being able to play to being able to make a play. It's that simple. Like I said, Kanahog effect, Pengu effect. This is Itelli. Worse. All of these are worse, granted, but they allow you to play. That doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just worse than obviously the optimum. Extra deck. IP. I don't have Little Knight, so this is why you're not going to see Little Knight in this list. I will get Little Knight after the reprint. I would have bought Little Knight regardless, but it's just so close to the reprint. It's like, why even do it at this point now? Just wait for 2-3 months for the reprint. So Little Knight, Pit Knight early. Pit Knight early comes up a lot. It's really good, dude. It's really good. It allows you to, when you blind Protos called Dark, because like I said, I don't blind Protos Fire. I blind Protos Dark. When you blind Protos Dark, you typically end with 2 monsters on the board that you can make something with. In the world where you Protos Dark, you can't make IP after that, because that's what you would want to do with those extra 2 monsters. So you make early, and early is just going to be co-linked with Raritari, and be able to negate something. It's really good, dude. It's really good. Kumi Falcos, I want to play a second one, but I will admit it's not needed. I just do want it sometimes. And it comes up, but like, I'm not willing to sacrifice at this moment. But I'm going to test more, but I will, at this moment, I'm not willing to sacrifice anything else really to get that second Kumi Falcos, because the first one a lot of times just is enough. The one Oppo, Zelantis, I got this from JoJo. This is really good tech. Like it's like, I think you would either play Access Code and that line or this. I was playing Access Code. I just make this more. This just comes up more, and then you can just go to battle phase and pop to, with it being co-linked with the Raritari at 2. So you have the spot to this can either be a second Kumi Falcos or the Raritari. I have such a hard time saying this name. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. But yeah, it's either this or this, and I find that I want this second Raritari over the second Kumi Falcos. Like, I make the second one. I always want the second one. I don't always want this Kumi Falcos. That's why I made the decision to do that. And I don't regret it. You use the second one for Pengu, to send a psychic, and yeah, or if you need it, you have it there. The Banshee, that's how you get the Protos. Ulti Kanahawk, Apelio. You play the Apelio. It comes up in situations. I've actually won a game against you, Bill, about this, because it makes it unaffected during battle. Yeah, it's really nice for that. And just being able to summon a decently sized monster to crack something before you start your plays, it's really nice. And also for the Pengu lines where you need to dump a beast outside of Super Saiyan lore. Two Nochi Drago. This is everything you need it to be: extender, starter, recursion, targeting protection, an extra body. It's everything. Like, I could say this is exactly what the deck needed, but this is also what the deck needed, and this is also what the deck needed. Like, and this is also what the deck needed. Like, all of these 4 new cards are so good. They're so good. This is how you do legacy support. Seriously, the one Colossus, like I said, love Colossus. Gaia Paleo. If you're not running Gaia Paleo, do you have a hole in your brain or something? It's your this is what one of the things that makes the deck so good is its flexibility, allowing you to change the output of your board, the board that you put up against your opponent. So let's just say in a vacuum, you're going up against a deck blind. You don't know what they're doing. It could be a combo deck, and typically, this is enough. This is enough. In scenarios where this isn't the right play to do, these aren't the right plays to do, rather. And you're playing a more control style deck, and they're not that worried about being floodgated out their first turn. You switch your game 2 and 3 boards to put up Gaia Paleo and Nochi Drago to counteract their control-y style of gameplay. And like just off the top of my head, Runic. Like, you can want Colossus, but Colossus can be dealt with, with Runic cards. Gaia Paleo, it's a lot harder for them to deal with Gaia Paleo, especially when you have 2-3 negates in hand, plus the targeting protection. It's really good, dude. I mean, I love the flexibility of this deck. In the side, we played hand traps, really valuable and flexible hand trap. Is Ash, obviously. Droll and Lock, because Droll and Lock is really good right now, and it's going to just get better in the next meta that we're moving into after Infinite Forbidden. So you might as well get ready to play Droll now. I mean, it's still good. And we don't play hand traps. These are the only 6 that we play outside of Shifter. And you want to go. This like when you're going second, you can side both. You can side Shifter plus Droll. If you're going first, if Shifter isn't effective, you switch that out for Droll. It's just a really good floodgatey, lingering effect. I mean, granted, I don't love these cards, in the game overall, but we have them. You need to play the best cards, like, it's nothing personal. I hate Droll and Shifter, and I hate them all too, but it's what we have. You want to win, don't you? Harpy's Feather Duster plus Lightning Storm. This is just the extra board clears that you need when you see it fit. I don't really have to explain these. D Fisher, when you're going first, this is what you're siding going first. Typically, this may include Ash or in certain situations Droll, but typically this is your going first. These are your going second options. Yeah, man. I mean, this deck is really good. I would highly suggest you play Judgment. Be quick about your plays, because you don't want to, and know when to concede in that game too, if it's needed, because you can't. Ritual Beast comp. You should go in with the mindset of a tournament that if you see a game 3 coming, you need at least 5 minutes to combo. You don't want to going into game 3 at 7 minutes. Side decking and then putting Judgment in your deck just for you to pass to your opponent with a minute on the clock, and then you either A, can't use Judgment because you risk losing on the spot, or B, your opponent being able to stall, and then you use Judgment and you lose regardless. Like, so like, I would suggest that you don't go into game 3 with less than like 12 minutes. And be quick about it. Maybe even 15, if I'm being honest. Like, this deck takes it's kind of annoying, but this deck just inherently takes a long time to combo. Like, it's not even that you're thinking about it. It's like, it's just there's a limit to how fast you can move your hands. But this is the deck. 4-1, 2 tournaments. I mean, I have no complaints. I love it. Can't wait to play it more. And I'm going to bring you guys more content on it. Thanks. Bye.